Good morning, and thank you all for joining me today. We're going to be going over our new Sensei feature release, which is Trade Area Reports. My name is Daniel Galkowski. I am an account manager here at Sensei Analytics. Actually started working with the Sensei product back in fall of 2023, right before the launch, and then transitioned to the team full-time shortly thereafter in the spring of 2024, ahead of the launch of the Sensei platform. Just a brief agenda for today. We'll start off by going over what is Sensei, kind of some of the stuff about like what we do. Then we'll go into some of our sources and methodology, and then we'll look up how we stack up against some of the other players in the field. And then I'll actually take you through a brief demo of the platform and bring you through a journey of how some of our clients have begun to use our trade area reports. And then I'll save a little bit of time for questions at the end, but feel free to provide those just throughout the presentation today. And then our marketing team on the back end will interrupt if there's a good spot. And hopefully I'll have an answer to at the end for you as well. All right, so what is Sensei? Sensei was a data set that was launched in the fall of 2023, primarily serving hedge funds and private equity. The Sensei platform followed suit shortly thereafter in July of 2024, and it's built off the same data set, just with core metrics that have been synthesized and aggregated up to various geographic scales. The data set itself is 270 million US adults. It is a row level database, so essentially every adult in America has their own row in our database, making it very powerful and very customizable. So we're able to work with our clients to really find them tailored solutions that meet their needs. So what do? We track moves as they occur across the US, and then 60 days after the quarter ends, we have an updated snapshot of the US, providing our clients real-time data as to who is in their market, who is moving where, and what do those mover population, what do they look like? Now for some of our sources and methodology, we will use a layered best of breed approach. And we'll begin with consumer compilers to flag an address change for us. And a couple examples would be like an electric bill or a utility bill, even like a subscription to kind of flag an address change for us. The next layer would be in states where we can compliantly use them. We will use voter file data to also flag an address change for us too. Next, we'll go to both private change of address, national change of address to help us search for some additional moves too. And then we'll use USPS on the back end for verification purposes only. This allows us, once we have verified the move, we just match it back to the individual in our database. We pick them up from their old geography and move them to their new geography. And then 60 days after the quarter ends, we have an updated snapshot of your market, your property, or your trade area. All right, oh, there we go. Now let's see how we stack up. We do hear a lot about people using CoStar and Placer in the field, and though there is some overlap in the data here, both of these products do just answer different questions than what Sensei answers. So for CoStar specifically, they're going to be looking at a lot more of the supply side, the market supply side data. So property and comp data, transaction data, listing, stuff like that. And then their demographics layer is going to be census derived. So Sensei is going to fill those gaps by telling you actually what is going on in your demand side of your market. And they'll be answering questions about who is moving into your market. How does that shift the makeup of your market? And what does my market look like today, and not relying on any stale data? Many acquisitions and investment teams will use both us and CoStar because the products are additive and we fill in some of the gaps that CoStar leaves. For Placer AI specifically, they will look at foot traffic data and they'll use a panel of cell phones to do so. But they'll provide you information on what is the foot traffic at your location? Are you getting repeat visitors, dwell time? A lot of more behavioral patterns. Sensei will fill in the gaps by showing you actually the individuals who is living at your location. It'll show you their age, their income, and you're able to get a much better sense of what's happening in my market live time, and you're able to action and make decisions directly off that information. Now that we've just given you a brief overview, I'm going to pop over into the platform and just kind of show you around our trade areas.
Hey Daniel, not to interrupt in the middle of all this, but we had a question come through and I thought you could answer that while you're popping over to the platform.
All right, cool. Yeah, what do we got?
What what goes in, or what are some of the inputs that make up your modeled income score?
Very good question. Our modeled income score is retrained quarterly, does use a variety of demographic, psychographic data points on the back end, but the richest source for our income model is going to be our consumer pulse survey. Our consumer pulse survey is run by our survey research capability, and it's been running since around 2019, and it's roughly 50 questions a day, and it goes out to roughly 3,000 respondents per week. That's going to be kind of the richest input in there. They've been doing that for a while, and they've had a lot of success with that. And our income score, we do back test against the IRS, with our strongest correlation buckets being the 100 to 200K and 200K plus crew. I'd be happy to have follow up right after the demo too, and maybe talk through any additional questions about that income model too. All right, so now we are in the platform itself here. We enter the Censai platform and we see our Gen AI page. Our Gen AI page is just going to be reading the Censai data set, but it's always a great spot to kind of start if you're just looking for maybe some zip codes or some personas and you just don't know where your markets are located. For starters, I'm actually going to pop over to our market screener tool. Used to be called our trend tool, but as of this morning, it has been updated to market screener. It's just always a great spot to kind of search for some markets based on specific data points that are interesting to you. So I'm going to start by just toggling over to the zip code for a geographic scale, and then I'm going to select our time series, and I'm just going to look at Q5 2021 through Q4, or well, 2025 Q1 through 2025 Q4. And then I'm actually also just going to pop over and we're going to spend a little bit of time in Texas today. And while that is loading, just do want to highlight that on Monday, it will be roughly 60 days after the quarter ends. So we will be posting our Q1 of 2026 data in the platform. So for Texas, we have it sorted by zip code here. I also just sorted by net migration, just kind of interested to see in the past year, what were the zip codes that saw the largest number of positive net migration. Right on the side, without having to create an additional market report, I can just click on a market and the side panel will appear for us. So we're able to kind of screen without having to generate a full market and just kind of take a peek at what's going on in this market right here and see if it's kind of a market that we're interested in. So we do see it's a growing market. You can see the migration routes. And then we get into some of the population and demographics. And okay, a very, very large 18 to 30 population. Guessing it might be a college town. Yeah, you're able to see, well, looks like it might be Texas A&M there for us, but I'm actually just going to pop over and grab a different zip code pretty shortly, and then we're going to bring you over to our commercial listings page. But it's always nice to just be able to kind of view a little sneak preview of your market without having to generate the full market as a whole. So let's just go down. We're going to grab 75071. It's just got a little bit larger population and median income. And then I'm going to go over to our commercial listings page. Our commercial listings page is with a partnership through Resimplify, and the commercial listings do update on a weekly cadence in our platform. So for starters, I'm just going to search my market right here in the top and grab our zip code in Texas. And then I'm just going to add some additional filters for sale. We do have property type filters as well if you're just interested in specific properties, as well as price range filters, but I'm also just going to mark this as active, looking for some active properties. And here on the left, we'll have all of the active properties in this specific zip code. Just going to select on one of these properties right here. And the right-hand side panel will pull up with just a brief trade area report, just looking at the 1 mile radius around the property, with also a link to the original listing. So you are able to action or contact the page directly if you're just interested in some additional information. Now I'm actually just going to grab the address of this property so I can just kind of walk you through what it would look like to generate some of our trade area reports. So for starters, I'm just going to go create new report on the top left corner, and I will create a trade area report. You can build a trade area report off of any landmark address in the United States. So I'll just copy and paste my address in there, and I'll select it right here. And then I'll move on to next. And then here's where we have the options for generating our trade area report. You can do a distance radius, 135 or custom. Additionally, we do have transportation options too. So if you're interested in who is within a drive of your property, or even who are the folks that are living within 15, 30, 45-minute or 60 walk of your property too. Just for the demo, going to pop into a 3-mile radius, and I'll generate the report here. All right, so on the right-hand corner, we're able to see all of the commercial listings for this specific trade area. And on the left, we're able to see some of those core metrics for the trade area. So population, Sensei forecast, rental rates, investability, mortgage affordability, and rental affordability are aggregated up at the zip code, whereas population and median income are just going to be looking at your specific trade area for you. Next, we'll move into the inflows, outflows, and net migration. So this will be actually counting the individual moves that have occurred into this zip code and leaving this zip code dating back to Q1 of 2018. And then, as I mentioned before, we have Q4 of 2025 posted, and then Monday, June 8th, we will be posting Q1 of 2026 data. Next, we'll go into some of the population and demographics for the area. So you're able to just see some high-end demographics for your current market under the general population tab. However, if you're just interested in the mover population, you can check out the inflows, and this will just look at the most recent quarter. So you're kind of able to see, of the folks that are moving into your market, what does their demographic makeup look like? And you can also see the outflows, who is leaving your market, what does their makeup look like as well. And then next we'll go into some of the demographics for the area. What's always nice, you have a few different options to look at your demographics. So you can view just kind of seeing over time, how have some of these buckets shifted. So looking at Q1 of 2018, the 25 to 50,000, that bucket has decreased a little bit. 100 to 200,000 and 200,000 more has significantly increased since Q1 of 2018. So you're able to see some of those trends there. And just another view would also be, we also do have the heat maps as well. So I could click on a heat map for the 200,000 or more, just to see where some of those folks are clustered in this specific trade area. Looks like they're primarily clustered on the southern and western side. And then we could also compare maybe like the 50 to 75,000. And you can see that they're clustered a little bit more on the east and north side. So you're able to, if your specific property matches one of these personas, you're able to kind of see if, is this a good spot for site selection for my property or my intended persona. Also have those for age as well, which is always fun to play around too. Next, we have commute times. So you can see how far can the market get from your specific property. It's always helpful for walk. We've had a lot of success in the mixed use space by, if you've got a multifamily property and you're looking for a tenant in the lower level, what's within a 15-minute walk for my residents? What can they already get to? And what makes the most sense to put in my building right here? Additionally, on the retail space, it's great to be able to see what's within a 15, 30-minute walk or drive of my property, and what are some of the competitors here before actually deciding to open our business there. And then lastly, we'll go into some of employment trends. So you're able to look at jobs, weekly wages, and establishments, and just also view this as another metric to view over time when looking at the holistic picture of your trade area report. We do also have our Ask AI function, which should be released for trade areas pretty shortly here as well. So you'll be able to filter down this report or get some additional information, maybe some additional breakdowns, age by income, stuff like that too. Now, lastly, I'm just going to pop into our Explore view here and just show you guys around just another view in Sensei Analytics if you're looking to find some markets that are interesting to you. So we can start on the left-hand side. We've got our geographic scale, zip code, county, CBSA, and state. Just select county for the time being. And right now we're just looking at net migration, but we could also look at median income, median age, cost to rent, or migration routes. And then at the bottom, we also have the option to update our slider scale so we can choose what quarter we want to look at. So right now we are looking at median income data, and we can kind of see the green areas around the coast on the northeastern side, as well as the west coast are going to be areas where the median income is $100,000 or greater. And then, some places in New Mexico, Oklahoma, we do see a little bit lower median income. And then you can kind of dive into your specific markets and do a little bit more underwriting and due diligence on the market. Now, I do want to pause here just to see if there are any questions at all. Just from the chat, I know that we have a couple of minutes left, but just wanted to pause here and just see if there were any questions. All right, no worries. Last thing for you guys too, we do just have all of our saved reports under the All Reports tab. Everything is saved and you are able to name your reports and export these reports at any time. But do want to just kind of go back to our presentation here and just highlight a couple of other things. So again, Q1 of 2026 data will be released into our platform on Monday. We do have a couple other features that we're looking to release. Our API should be ready within a couple of weeks here, hopefully early July for us. So that'll be another option for our clients to be able to a little bit more customizable pull reports or their specific needs in the platform. If you guys do have any additional questions or would like to set up a demo or a free trial with the new data that's going to be released on Monday, please don't hesitate to reach out. Either shoot us a chat in the webinar itself, or you can follow up directly with us over email. It's info@censaianalytics.com, or feel free to visit our website where you can sign up for a free trial and be automatically credentialed into the platform. Or if you're already ready to make a decision and join Censai, you can also sign up for a platform subscription right there. Thank you all for joining us today, and I hope you guys have a great rest of the day. Thank you.